What's the best way to know what somebody truly cares about? Is it their words or their actions? What they say or what they do? If somebody consistently tells you they love you but never actually shows it, how can you actually believe them? If you ask most people do they love themselves, they would say yes. But what if the only acceptable answer are the things you actually do? This is the infinite evolution. If I could rephrase the question to how much do you love yourself, or even better yet, how much do you love your future self, we would get a lot different responses. And if it was all based on the decisions you consistently made, the smart investments of time, energy, and effort that you consistently chose to pour into yourself, in a world where we are consistently taught that you can have everything you want right now, I'm talking about having a long-term mindset that is rooted in the present, loving your future self through action, not just words, thoughts, or feelings, but concrete evidence of your commitment. Whether you choose to build and make progress or not is your decision. But as time presses on and the future version of you becomes more of a reality, what will you say when they start asking for the truth? Because they will. Keep in mind that even if you could lie to yourself, it wouldn't work, because you were there for the entire trip to experience every single step of the way. You know what took place, you know what decisions you made and didn't, and you know if you made the sacrifices in the present in order to lead to a better future. You ever choose to stay up too late, watching TV, playing video games, and choosing to make the future more difficult than it needs to be? In that moment, you know what the right thing is, but you choose to ignore the call. And what happens when the thing you should be doing is a lot bigger than just going to bed the night before or not playing video games? It's living up to the best version of yourself. Do you embrace willful ignorance and temporary comfort, or delayed gratification and long-term thinking? That exhausted feeling that you have the next morning was entirely preventable, especially when the night wasn't even worth it, doom scrolling and doing a whole lot of nothing. But every now and again, you actually should stay up. You should go out. When you get a once-in-a-lifetime situation and it calls for you to stay up a few hours later, you do it. We'll get there later, but that's not what I'm talking about right now. It can be hard to look in the mirror and be honest with yourself about the role you played in getting yourself here, or to accept the reality that even though you may not have started the problem, it may be up to you to find the solution, especially when you're down and things aren't going your way. However, it's also one of the most important and rewarding things you'll ever do for yourself. Do not underestimate it. Sometimes you're not the one who messed up, but you still have to do what's in your best interest, even if it costs you. Think about the friend who was just trying to do a good thing by letting their friend borrow their car. Just because their heart was in the right place doesn't mean they are free from risk. When that friend gets into an accident and doesn't have the money to pay for it, guess who the responsibility falls on? You could choose to stand on pride and wait for them to get the money to fix it, or you could take care of matters yourself, knowing that you have a job, kids to pick up, and responsibilities that you need to be able to deliver on. You didn't cause the problem, but you certainly need to deal with it. Or what about something even more innocent? Your cell phone gets ruined because somebody spills water on it. You could choose to wait for that person to pay you back, but if they don't have the money and you never see them again, what are you gonna do? You cannot stand on pride and cut your nose to spite your face. You need to handle business and do what needs to be done. It isn't fair. You shouldn't have to pay the cost, but this is a part of growing up and being mature. You can stand on pride, or you can take care of your future self. Future you doesn't want to hear that you lost your job waiting on your friend to pay for that car, even though you had the money for it. Think about the friend who allowed somebody to borrow money that they didn't really have to spend, but they do it anyway because they have a kind heart and they know that person was in need. When they can't afford to pay you back and your bills are due, you could choose to hold out and wait for them to get the money, or you could pay your bills on time like you know you need to, because it will benefit your future self. Maybe next time you choose differently, have more options, make a better decision, but this time you need results. Fair or not. This is why developing smart habits is so important. You could choose Netflix and binge eating all weekend, or you could choose to dedicate a few hours to go outside, get some fresh air, focus on those goals, write in that journal, and do something productive. Either way, the time will pass. What do you choose to fill it with, and why? Are you keeping the future version of you in mind who will benefit from structure and discipline, or do you only live for the moment? What feels good right now, short-term gratification, and no long-term thinking? The choice is yours. When it comes to your phone, is it mostly a distraction that you use to doom scroll, or is it an asset and a tool that you use to get smarter, strengthen your reading and knowledge? Either way, the time will pass. What do you choose to fill it with? There's a huge difference between online sports betting and an app that allows you to read and strengthen your verbal lexicon. But which path do you choose? The dopamine hit and the way it affects your long-term thinking is different. The risk and reward to both are different. Choose wisely and with discernment if you want the best results. Otherwise, you don't get to complain about the results you didn't get from the investments you didn't make. As a kid, before school, church, or anything important, we were always taught to lay out our outfit the night before. It didn't matter what it was, you needed to find those clothes, socks, shoes, pants, shirts, so you could be dressed and out of the house without a hassle. Why would any kid want to take the time to lay out their socks and shoes and shirt and pants and belt? And this is pointless and I don't want to do it. But your parents were teaching you responsibility and how to build and develop systems so that when you are an adult, maybe you don't need to lay out your clothes every single night the day before. Instead, you develop systems that allow you to thrive and be successful. Your laundry is clean, your clothes are folded, and everything is organized and maintained so that all you need to do is go into your room or closet and pick out what you need. No stress, no time wasted, and you still get to execute the morning like you need to. At the time, it felt pointless and annoying, but as you grow and learn, you realize your parents were teaching you responsibility and systems. Loving your future self also means taking the gift of the present and making the most of it by showing gratitude through action, creating the memories today that will last until infinity. When you train, you study, you prepared, you balance patience with urgency, you've done everything you needed to, and now you're finally on vacation, you gotta sit back and smell the roses, because what's the point of grinding so hard if you never get the payoff? A part of loving your future self is embracing the moment right now so that you do create the memories. Celebrate the big moments. Take over the game in the clutch. Hit the buzzer beater. Apply for the job. Tell the person who you love more than anything else that you love them with all of your heart. Seize the day and don't apologize for it, because one day it'll be over. And don't let the books close before you write your name in history. Today, we choose to be active, vigilant, dedicated. Loving the future version of you means not contributing to a life of regret. If you live with fear of taking risks, you will look back and despise the opportunities you didn't take. You will despise the version of yourself who wouldn't show up for you. If you allow the fear of taking risks to drive you, you will look back on life and despise the inactivity you chose for yourself. When you reach the end of your journey and you reflect on everything, you'll know the plan wasn't crazy if it actually comes true, but it never will if you don't take the first step. And if it doesn't work out but you gave it your all, the peace of knowing that you tried will far exceed the pain of always having to wonder, what if? What if I gave a little more, tried harder, didn't quit so easily, was more resilient, chased those dreams instead of running from them, remain locked in and focused when distraction and procrastination were right there for me. You are different and you want different, so you have to move different and be different. This is the infinite evolution. Choosing to be heard as opposed to quiet and passive might just be the difference between you finally living the life of your dreams versus another decade of struggling to make ends meet. Don't let it be you. Today we choose to be active and accountable so the future version of you can thrive. The path you take tomorrow is being written by the mindset you choose today. The people who finish life bitter and full of regret often contribute to, if not create, the very system that got them here. Don't become one of them. If those same people chose to place their attention and energy into accountability and a purpose that is worthwhile, their results will be a lot different. To look in the mirror and be honest with yourself about the role you played in getting yourself to this point right now could be one of the hardest things you'll ever do, but it's absolutely worth it. Even though you didn't cause the problem, it may be up to you to fix it. True wisdom isn't repeating the mistakes of others, but learning from them. Somebody has already stepped in the path that you're trying to take. Become a student of the game today so that future you can reap the benefits. Become a consistent source of positive momentum for your future. That way tomorrow doesn't feel like a burden. So take your chance, apply for the job, shoot your shot, go for it. Even if you feel like you're not ready, either through consistency and preparation or by living up to the time and investments that you've already made. This is the infinite evolution. Another day is coming. So as long as you keep receiving the blessing of more health, life, and energy, you need to be doing everything you can to honor it. This is the infinite evolution. Once upon a time, today was yesterday's tomorrow, which makes it the absolute perfect opportunity to show love to the future. This is the infinite evolution.